If you invested $10,000 in Apple stock 7 years ago, do you know what it's worth today? Over $40,000. A 400% return. But here's the question nobody's asking. Was Apple actually 4 times better as a business, or did investors just get lucky? Today, I'm going to show you the difference between stock price hype and actual business performance. And trust me, the numbers will surprise you. See, everyone talks about Apple's stock price, but almost nobody looks at what's really happening inside the company. Is their profit margin getting better or worse? Is their return on capital employed increasing or declining? Are they becoming more efficient or less efficient with shareholders' money? These are the questions that separate real investors from gamblers. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to take you through 7 years of Apple's audited financial statements from 2018 all the way to 2025. We're going to calculate the ratios that professional analysts use: return on capital employed, return on assets, earnings per share, price-to-earnings ratio, profit margins. These aren't just random numbers. These ratios tell you whether a company is truly creating value or just riding a wave. And here's what makes this fascinating. Apple's sales went from $260 billion to over $416 billion in 7 years. That's massive growth. But when you look at the profitability ratios, when you examine how efficiently they're using their assets, the story becomes much more complex and much more interesting. So let's stop guessing and start analyzing. Let's see what the actual numbers reveal about the world's most valuable company. All right. Before we jump in, it's super important to mention that this entire video, all the number crunching, it's all based on the detailed research compiled by Mr. Majid Butt. He's an accountant, a software programmer, and an investment researcher, so he knows his stuff. Okay, let's get into it. So here's how we're going to break this all down. We're going to walk through 6 parts to really build the complete story of Apple's financial engine. We'll start with their incredible growth, then dig into how profitable they are and how efficient they've become, and then we'll tackle the big one, valuation, before we land on a final verdict. First up, let's talk about the number that everybody sees, the one that makes all the headlines: sales. It's kind of the most obvious measure of a company's power. By the 2024-2025 fiscal year, Apple's yearly sales clocked in at a mind-boggling $416 billion. Now, just to wrap your head around that, that is more than the entire economic output, the GDP, of countries like Denmark or the Philippines. It's an absolutely colossal number. But you know, what's really interesting here isn't just that final number. It's the journey to get there. Just look at that powerful climb from $260 billion back in 2019. Check out the absolute explosion between 2020 and 2021. They added $90 billion in sales in 1 year. That is just phenomenal. Then you see that little dip in 23. It just goes to show even a beast like Apple isn't immune to what's happening in the global economy. But the key thing, look how quickly they got back on track. That shows you just how resilient their growth engine really is. Okay, so sales are huge. Fantastic. But here's the billion-dollar question. Literally, is all that selling actually profitable? I mean, a company can have massive revenues and still be losing money. So let's peel back that next layer and see how much of that $416 billion actually drops to the bottom line. This is really what separates the good businesses from the great ones. And this is where the story gets even more impressive. Their profit after tax didn't just grow, it more than doubled, from $55 billion to $112 billion. Now, think about that. Their sales grew by about 60%, but their profits grew by over 100%. What that tells you is that Apple isn't just selling more stuff, they're actually keeping way more profit from every single dollar they make. That points to some serious pricing power and an iron grip on their costs. Now, to measure that kind of efficiency like the pros do, analysts use a key metric called return on capital employed, or ROCE for short. It's a really powerful tool because it answers a simple, crucial question. For every single dollar the company is tied up in its business, in factories, inventory, property, how much profit does it spit out? It's a fantastic indicator of how good a company's management is at making money with your money. And wow, just look at this chart. It perfectly illustrates Apple's transformation. The ROCE didn't just grow, it absolutely exploded. It went from an already pretty great 26.5% all the way up to an incredible 69.6%. Let your eye follow that massive jump between 2020 and 2021. It goes from 29% to nearly 50%. That signals a huge improvement in how the business works. And a big part of that is the growth of their high-margin digital services. Right? Once the App Store is built, selling one more app or subscription costs them almost nothing. That's why, by 2025, for every dollar they had invested in the business, they were getting nearly 70 cents back in profit. Unbelievable. Okay, so we've established they're making a mountain of cash, and they're doing it with insane efficiency. But what does that actually mean for shareholders? Let's dig in and see how smartly they're using investors' money. So, return on assets tells us how well a company uses everything it owns, the factories, the cash in the bank, the patents, to generate a profit. And just like we saw with ROCE, there's that huge leap in 2021 to over 28%, and it's stayed up at that elite level ever since, ending near 31%. I mean, to maintain that kind of return at this massive scale is just a remarkable feat of operational genius. It means there's very, very little waste. Now, this next chart is one of my favorites because it shows a secret weapon that a lot of people miss. Look closely at this graph. The number of Apple shares out there in the market has gone down every single year, no exceptions. It's dropped from almost 18.5 billion shares to under 15 billion. So over 3.5 billion shares have just kind of vanished. So where they go? Well, it's not magic. It's a very deliberate, multi-hundred-billion-dollar strategy called a share buyback. Apple uses its giant pile of cash to buy its own stock right off the market. Here's a way to think about it. Imagine the company's profit is a giant pizza cut into 18 slices. With a buyback, Apple is basically buying 3 of those slices and just tossing them out. So now, there are only 15 slices left, and every single one is noticeably bigger. That's exactly what's happening to every shareholder's piece of the company. And bam, this is the direct result. This chart is earnings per share, or EPS, and it's the perfect example of a powerful 1-2 punch. So first, as we already saw, Apple's total profit is soaring. That's punch 1. Then, they're taking that much bigger profit pie and splitting it among fewer and fewer shares. That's punch 2. And the result? EPS just skyrockets from under $3 to almost $7.50. This is a huge reason why shareholders have been so handsomely rewarded. So, the case is closed, right? I mean, Apple is a growing, incredibly profitable, super efficient business. The numbers are crystal clear. But that brings us back to our original question. Is the stock price justified? Or is it just hype? This is where we have to pivot from looking at the company to looking at what the market thinks about the company. The key tool to figure this out is the price-to-earnings ratio, or PE ratio. It's one of the most famous metrics in investing. All it really tells us is this. For every $1 that Apple earns right now, how many dollars are investors willing to pay for that share today? A high PE means people have really high hopes for the future. A low PE, maybe not so much. And whoa, look at this. This is where all those nice, steady, upward trending lines we've been looking at just disappear. This thing is a roller coaster. Unlike the business performance, the PE ratio is all over the place. Notice that huge spike in 2020? The market suddenly decided to pay almost twice as much for $1 of Apple's earnings as it did just the year before. Then it cools off before spiking again to another peak in 2024. This chart is basically a picture of investor mood swings, the hype, and it shows that mood can change dramatically, even when the business itself is chugging along steadily. And really, this slide sums up the whole thing. It's the central conflict of our story. On one side, you have the reality of the business, strong, steady, impressive growth in every important metric we've looked at. And on the other side, you have the market's perception, which is way more emotional and unpredictable. The stock price you see on the screen every day is a combination of both of those things, the solid foundation and the shifting sands of hype. Okay, let's bring it all home. After going through 7 years of cold hard data, what's the final verdict here? Hype? Reality? Or something else? This table tells the whole story in one shot. The business fundamentals, growth, profitability, efficiency, they're all rock solid, with incredible upward trends. Sales up 60%, ROCE up a staggering 162%, EPS up 151%. As you can see, we're calling that the reality. But then you look at the valuation line. The PE ratio is highly volatile. That's the hype. So that 400% return we talked about at the beginning, it was a mix of both, the real, undeniable, outstanding performance of the business, which was then supercharged by the market's growing excitement and willingness to pay more for it. You know, it really makes you think of what the legendary investor Warren Buffett said. The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. The impatience is chasing that volatile PE ratio, the hype. The patience is understanding the real business fundamentals we just walked through. Knowing the difference between the business you're buying and the price you're paying, that's the whole game. So we end where we began, with a question for you. The numbers clearly show that Apple is a phenomenal business, but the price you pay for that business is a completely separate story, one that's driven by the mood of the market. So the ultimate question you have to ask yourself is this: are you investing in that solid foundation, or are you paying a premium for the market's excitement? Really thinking about that is the first step to becoming a much smarter investor.